Hello and welcome to Dad's Our Job podcast. This is episode 13 and this is your host Adam Neverbarrow and I'm joined by Rob Horton and Callum Horton. Guys, how are we getting on?
Evening, everyone alright? Yep. Lucky 13 or unlucky for some?
Yeah, unlucky for some.
It's mad that we're only at 13. I feel like we've done so much more.
We've done some in between, haven't we? We've done like interviews and quizzes and walkies talkies, and your FPL show's gone a bit dry, hasn't it?
Well, we had the chat about that, didn't we? And the chat was that we're going to pull back so that we can do more with less.
Yeah.
That was the conversation. But thank you for highlighting that. I really appreciate it.
I mean,
you're a good friend, Dad.
And that's why my Super 6 questions never ever even took off. Not in one episode. So.
You're firing blanks before you've been started.
You've been talking to everyone.
There's still time. There's still TMI. We didn't even start. Yeah,
thanks for that, guys. Appreciate that.
Plenty of time. But now how's your week's been, guys? Like week even. Been pretty cool. And special shout out to Mr. Fig, the Fig Meister, Mr. Figgy, Fig Roll.
The only one who listens.
The only one that listens to this podcast. He's one of 2 listeners, excluding my dad.
Yeah.
And,
he hates football. He only listens for us.
Yeah. Mr. Fig. What's his first name?
I don't know if I can say that.
Oh, no, let's keep him as Mr. Fig.
Yeah.
No one of Mr. Men.
Yeah. But just bring it up every week.
He's just arms and legs and a fig.
You know he's 6'6", 22 stone.
He's a big fig.
That is not true. I have met Figgy and he is not 6 foot tall.
Oh.
That's fake news. Oh, there it is. I found it.
We were talking off air about. Is that you?
That's me. That's me with a hairline.
Wow. Rob's just showing us a picture of him and Malcolm McDonald when it was the last day at the Emirates.
It was. And I got to, and I know we're going off topic already, but one of the best things I ever did, like when one of those things where you're like,
I can't believe I've done that.
I cannot believe I was there. I've still got when I grew up, I got to do this thing as part of a cheerleading company, and this organisation called Event 360, which is an amazing organisation because they work with companies like ours. We're a charity, and we got to, as part of Event 360, we got to perform at FA Cup finals and community shields. And I remember I had to.
Was you one of the guys that went, "Give me an A"?
Huh?
Give me an R.
No,
give me an S.
No, that's not how cheerleading works.
Give me an E, and then you stopped.
Do you know, I appreciate that. I can see what you're trying to do, but I'm not going to rise to that. But I got to do some amazing things, and
you'd be a Dave Reels with what I just said.
Yeah, but I did. I got to do some awesome things, and some of those things are pinch yourself crazy. Like I got to go to the Army and Navy rugby game. And I had to teach a flag routine to the army boys as part of this whole thing. I've done some crazy things because of this, right? And one of them was that I got to be part of a group of young people from Newham who got to close Highbury. And, we all lined up. We didn't really know what we were doing. And next thing I know, I've got like a placard in my hand. And I'm walking around with Malcolm McDonald. And it was crazy. And so, this picture, I'm super proud of that picture. But I was walking around Malcolm McDonald and everyone goes, Super Mac. And there's loads of, Arsenal legends there. And you're like, damn. And it depends on who you like, obviously. But I always had a soft spot for Oleg Luzhny. And I can remember looking over and Luzhny was there. And I was like, Oleg Luzhny's here. There was some amazing... Ian Wright was there. The people who you would expect to be there were there. But then, the people who and I suppose it was quite special because, and I know Dad will listen to this, but Super Mac or Malcolm McDonald was of my dad's time, 70s, and walking around. And I can remember when I came home, I was like, Dad, I got to walk around with Malcolm McDonald. And he was like, Malcolm, Super Mac. And it was just amazing. And then he sort of shared some stories with me about how he was great in the first season, unfortunately had some injuries and whatever, and probably more considered a Newcastle legend than anything, but it was just an amazing thing, and I still can't believe, even now, something that I did as so big.
It's a historical
as
value of,
closing.
isn't it?
I was there on the
It's a
last.
historical family goal, to be fair, isn't it?
It is the ultimate family goal, really, or it's the ultimate Arsenal goal.
Or sporting goal, yeah, sporting.
I was there when Highbury closed, and do you know what was special about it as well is I managed to get my hands on for Dad's birthday actually. I managed to get my hands on a picture frame which had the programme, the ticket, and a picture of Henri at the final game at Highbury, and I managed to give that to him for his birthday this year.
Did you get the sound recording of you lot singing Bubbles when we beat Spurs?
Do you know what the irony is? The irony is
you did sing.
We did sing it.
Yeah, I know. That's why
because we were walking, and do you know what? I can tell you this with the fact, right? We were walking underneath where all the cars were parked, right? Because Highbury was so small and tiny, wasn't it? And we were walking underneath because we were about to get given our placards. We walked underneath Highbury where all the cars were parked. And someone had come through that West Ham were winning, and then because we're from Newham, so some of the guys there started singing "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles," and we were walking underneath Highbury as we were singing "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles" because it was such a big moment. Like it sounds so silly because I'm so giddy even talking about it because I'm 38 now. It was I can't even tell you when it was, but like 20 years ago that this all happened or whatever. And I still can't believe I was there. I still can't believe that I was there.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking about it before we started recording, but I emailed Malcolm McDonald a couple of years ago and said, look, I don't know if you remember me, but here's the pictures that I got of you and me at the final day. And he emailed me back, and it was so.
He emailed and said, "Yeah, don't remember you, mate. Thanks for the pictures."
Thanks. You're right, Cal. He may well have just said it to be polite. But he said thank you for the pictures, and I can remember emailing Dad afterwards. I took a picture of the email and sent it to Dad afterwards, and I was like, Malcolm McDonald just emailed me back, and I couldn't even care less if that was a PA. You know?
No, it's cool. It is cool.
AI.
Well, I don't know. It's a couple of years ago that I emailed him, but we can joke about the cheerleading stuff, but it's given me so many. No. You know what I mean. But
it's your job.
The opportunities that it has created for me.
That's your job.
That is my job. That's my job. I'm a cheerleading coach from East London, and some of the experiences it's given me: FA Cup finals, closing Highbury, Army and Navy rugby. Well, you know about it, Cal. You've been there for some of them.
We want to talk about the FA Cup final.
Well, but you might as well share your story.
I must admit, we have done some amazing stuff. For me, one of the fondest ones is obviously me and Rob. We managed to go to the last FA Cup final at the Millennium Stadium. Well, sorry, no, it's a lie. We went second to last with the Millennium Stadium, and it was Arsenal. The big one with Arsenal Man United when Vieira scored the winning penalty, and we did the flag routine.
To point out, that was actually penciled in to be the last FA Cup final because Wembley was due to be completed for the following FA Cup final, which was West Ham Liverpool, but Wembley got delayed, so then West Ham Liverpool ended up being the last FA Cup final at Millennium Stadium. Just for the statisticians and factoids out there.
But and me and Cal, we were teenagers. Callum's 2 years younger than me. And I can remember, and he was there as well, and we walked past Thierry Henry and Ray Parlour.
Yeah.
And they would, and you know, sorry, and Edu was there as well.
Yeah. Because
I've got a picture of it with a Kodak. Edu, Ray Parlour, and Thierry Henry.
And Gramonde. I swear Gramonde was there. I've never seen Gramonde there.
He may well have been there, but I've got a picture of those three.
What was the kit? Was it the Total 90 kit?
I can't. They were in suits because they were.
It was the Total. No, 02. I'm sure it's the 02 kit.
They were in suits, so I don't remember.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
It was the 02 kit. Vieira 02 kit.
That is Total 90 kit, isn't it? We had the white bit on the where the letters.
And it's run down here.
You might be right. You might be right.
Yeah, I think it did run down. And can I just say, because I know he gets a lot of stick, the only Man United player to actually wave at us commoners was Ronaldo. He was the only one who acknowledged, because we was in between the two. What's it called? The two changing rooms, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only Man United player, to wave and actually acknowledge that we were there was Ronaldo. And I know he gets a lot of stick, and
how old was he then? Must be more 21.
Yeah,
you know what? Somewhere, Gary Neville's going.
Can you just do that sound close to the mic so people can try and envisage what face you're putting?
He was the only one who actually acknowledged me.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, though, don't you?
It's yeah, I get it.
The Carragher thing when someone says, that's not right, I'm not having it.
I've seen so many amazing memes for that of Gary Neville's face. The best one is one about the kid who's upstairs playing on his Xbox, and that lazy little prick upstairs. It's Gary Neville goes.
No, but he was the only one who actually waved over to us and sort of said hello, and was like, you know.
Because and the thing is and I suppose it shows not just maybe some humility from Ronaldo, but also just how confident he was, because in those moments and as part of Event 360, who we were working for, you had to be the expectation was that you didn't make a sound.
Yeah, you
were not allowed to say anything,
not to be seen,
not to be seen, not heard,
do your job.
because those people are in like hyper focus, like the meditation, all that thing. It was still quite early days then, but it was like hyper focus, no sounds, no and obviously you've got a bunch of kids from East London who are never going to see Thierry Henry ever again in the flesh. And you know, like I said, one of our friends, she walked past Thierry Henry and told him she loved him, like, because we just couldn't believe that we were even in the presence of
you
these
thought it was
people.
a girl, it was actually Callum. I love you, Thierry,
mate, and I would not have felt any evil towards him, because it was so huge for us. Like, can you imagine, like, we were just some kids from East London and we got booked by this company to do a flag routine at one of the biggest events in the football probably the biggest domestic event in the British football calendar. Like, this was huge for us. Like, you know, we'd go home and try and find ourselves on the TV. We'd be recording it on VHS or whatever, trying to find ourselves. Like, it was a huge deal for kids like us. So, like,
Do you know, it would be interesting to see if that's on YouTube.
Do you know what is on YouTube? Because I found it. The closing ceremony of Highbury. I found it on someone's random. Like, they must have recorded it on like a Sony camcorder or something. But you can see.
Not JVC.
Maybe a JVC.
Done.
But it was. I think it was the North Stand. But you can see us walking past with our. It's about 2 hours long, but you can see us like walking around with the.
Oh, but you must have been bored one night to try and find you in that video.
I was
2 seconds.
I was being nostalgic, but you can tell it's me. But like,
there must be a DVD of the.
Well, seeing ceremony. That part in, you couldn't miss you, mate, could they?
There must be a closing ceremony DVD out somewhere.
Yeah,
I think so. You could probably buy something from the Arsenal shop or something like that. But yeah, I mean, just amazing things that you would never think that you could ever experience, and we did get to experience them. And now as an adult, I probably realised how much I took them for granted at the time, because it was quite normal to do cool things like that.
Yeah, we had a lot of chances. I think that puts down to our mum and dad parenting and giving us. And putting us in them situations to be able to be called up for things like that, isn't it, I suppose?
I've performed at Upton Park.
I've scored at Upton Park.
I've played at Upton Park.
What was her name?
Hey!
His name was... No, I played at a five-a-side tournament there, and I actually scored at Upton Park. And funny enough, my dad done exactly the same thing at my age, at the same age when he played on Upton Park as well. So me and my old man have scored at Upton Park. So,
that's pretty cool. I like that. That's amazing.
But I was going to say that this is a nice little segue. The cheerleading experience must have given you some good core strength. So
speaking of core strength,
Callum has some pretty big news to share.
Yeah. So obviously, I know this podcast is all about, you know, finding yourself and making yourself better and focusing on bigger things.
And I'll just say you're taking the daddy-haters thing far too seriously.
So basically, from
Adam's worried about later.
Yeah, from the change of Horton versus Horton to daddy-haters, I thought I'd better start training. And obviously, as parents, we all know our lives are taken up with, you know, work. And you finish work, you come home, and you're a dad. And then you finish being a dad, and
you make it sound like it's bad.
No.
And you finish being a dad, you be a podcast.
It's just your job. Do your job. Do your job.
Dad's your job.
And basically, you have a cup of tea and you go to bed. Yeah, and then you start all over again. So
You have a
Like I
cup of
say-
tea? You got time for tea?
Cool, yeah.
I can't believe you've got time to boil the kettle, mate.
Well, I only have half a cup of tea because I've got to go to bed. 'Cause I've got to be up.
Don't get a wee in all night.
Well, you make half or you only drink
Yeah,
half.
I've got no bladder control, so that's true. Yeah. With half a cup of tea, I'm up 4 times a night anyway. So yeah, I thought,
Sorry to steer off. I know you're on a roll here. What's your choice of tea?
what do you mean? What's your choice?
Yorkshire.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, we had PC chips here, but
No.
chips. Chips.
Mr. Chips.
He's only had 2 beers. I do like Yorkshire, but I ever don't.
Yeah, but what Yorkshire tea though?
Oh, standard Yorkshire tea.
No, it's got to be gold label.
Oh, get out.
Gold label, or Sainsbury's do a really good red label tea.
I have seen the red label tea.
Maybe I'm just a whore because I will drink any tea. It doesn't matter to me.
Oh, R.I.P. Typhoo. They've gone into administration today. After,
have they?
Yeah, after 127 years.
So instead of an ooh, you get an oh.
Very good.
I'm bowing down to you, Master Jedi.
Thank you.
So, go on, Callum. Please proceed.
So, where was I on my story?
You're
You're basically saying the struggles of being
So basically-
a professional career person, a dad, a husband, a friend, a brother, a lover, a mother.
Oh yeah, that's where I was at. Yeah, and and
another brother.
so basically, as you have kids, ultimately your focus changes. Yeah, but
You're selfish.
I've absolutely lost my thing. I had this all planned in my head.
So
No.
you threw the tea out.
Yeah.
Fuck what you're going to do. Let's talk about that tea. Milk first or last?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, hang on. It goes last.
mate, it doesn't matter to me.
He's a
as long
he's
as
a
it's
tea
not-
hole.
it
He
don't
don't give a
bother to
shit.
me.
He's
Yeah.
a savage.
I don't care, mate.
Savage.
Yeah.
He went fucking loose tea. That's how much of an he is.
Picking out your teeth.
He don't even filter it.
Can I just say, I've picked tea in Sri Lanka, just so you all know. So I know the core. I've been to the root of where tea comes from.
Oh,
literally.
is that
Yeah.
why you picked PG Tips? Because you're the cover of the brand.
I actually do think they're from. I think they are from Sri Lanka. Actually, there's someone look that up and
I thought it was India.
DM me. Are they? You sure? I
Maybe.
think they're from Sri Lanka. As well.
Maybe. Well,
No, do you know what though? Just while we're
Asia.
here, if we are going to talk about tea, I'm going to bring it round to books. And George Orwell writes a fantastic essay about how to make the perfect cup of tea, and it is literally called The Perfect Cup of Tea.
How many pages?
George Orwell, who wrote 1984, Animal Farm, all these amazing books, also wrote and published an essay about how to make the perfect cup of tea. It's about 2 pages long.
it's 2 leaves.
It is an incredible read. I love it.
Apparently, you're meant to brew it for 3 minutes. Just so you know.
Mate, I don't know. That's
wow,
not what Orwell
tea talk.
says.
What did he say?
Huh? I'd have to
He's
get
gonna have to email, he's gonna have to Google it. Here you go.
I've got the collected essays of Orwell at home, and I'll make sure I screenshot it and send it your way later.
Right, okay.
Put it on the Instagram.
So away from tea. From tea.
Let's just get to my story because my story is quite long and we've got to finish it now. Right. So basically, yeah, as you get older, you don't necessarily have time to grow and learn new things. So basically, I'm going through a midlife crisis, and I have signed up for a course worth of jiu-jitsu because basically I like to think I'm Tom Hardy and I want to be Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's inspired me. So Tom Hardy, if you want to come on the pod, I don't know what football team you support, but you're a babe and man crush. I want to get you on. So anyway, I've signed up to this.
Who's a babe? Sorry, I missed that bit.
Tom Hardy.
Oh, Tom Hardy. Yeah,
man crush. He's legend. Venom.
He's
He's
like a western.
Yeah, he's legend. And to be fair, he's got a hell of an interesting story. So if we could get him on, DM him, get him on. But basically, I started jiu-jitsu, and so the story is, I rang this bloke up because I've got no experience of any sort of martial arts ever. Really, I did karate, but it doesn't really count. And so I rang him up.
Got to blue belt.
Yeah, I don't think I got to blue belt, to be fair. But I rang him up and said, basically I want to come to this mixed session, mixed it's like class session, because it was the only one I could get to. Obviously, I had to put him both down to sleep. And he went, yeah, it should be fine. Don't worry, just turn up. We're all beginners. They'll all have a fun time. So I've turned up half hour early because I don't like being late. And he sort of, you walk in, it's like an industrial estate sort of place. It's like tin roofed. Walk in and
it's just around the
you know
corner
when
from
everyone
Martha's.
just stops and looks at you, just go like, you're in the wrong way, you're in the wrong place, fella.
You don't belong here, mate.
No, yeah, 100%. And he went,
Water boys turned up.
yeah, he went, can I help you, mate? Like, delivery, or can I help you? And I went, oh yeah, I rang you on Monday. Like, I said, like, can I come to my... He went, yeah, you're supposed to be in this one. This is the beginning session. I went, no, mate. I said I could only come between these times. Is it right mixed session? You said like, he went, yeah. I went, oh, you went, oh, you should be all right. Don't worry. So anyway, the first 20 minutes, fantastic. Little drills, 3 drills he sent me. Yeah, can I just tell you, not one of them was a defensive drill. Yeah. So and then the rest hour and a half. So it's a 2-hour session, just so you know. That the rest hour and 40 minutes was. 3 minutes rounds with 30-second rest for basically an hour and 45 minutes. And everyone had been there for years, if not months, or even more years. Like I'm talking about like 5-6 years. And basically he said to me, just try and survive the 3-minute rounds each time. I didn't mention, as people started turning up for this session, I am the smallest person there. They're all like 6'2", 3 or 4, and probably like 15, 16 stone, like gym rats, like tanks. Anyway, it gets to a point where I come against the biggest sod in the whole place. He's like 20, sorry, what is he, 6'4", probably 16, so a fireman.
You had the man in.
Oh yeah, basically, he's a fireman, so basically all he does is do gym all day long, and he puts me in a headlock.
Spinning around.
And put fires out.
Just
hopefully.
spinning around a pole.
Yeah, he does put and rescue cats from trees. And his name's Sam. He put me in a headlock, and all you hear is crack, 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 crack. He instantly lets go, and when you had that moment with someone, yeah, and it's not normally in moments like this,
an intimate moment.
Yeah, and you both look at each other as to go, oh no, what's just happened? And he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I think he's broke my neck. Yeah, and he thinks he's broke my neck, and he's gone, oh! It's literally the weirdest moment in the whole night, and he's looking at me thinking he's broke my neck, and I could not dare move, and I slowly moved side to side, and it was like, that moment is like, oh, you can move. Like, I can move. However, I've done a lot of training in my life. I was saying to Rob and Adam before we come on air, I've done 4 or 5 sessions a day, gym sessions, football sessions, and done, literally probably 10-hour sessions over the whole day. Like, I'm not joking, starting at, 8 o'clock in the morning and breaking it up. I have never, ever been in so much pain in 2 hours. I'm talking about, I did not feel good till Tuesday. I've never felt so rough in my life. Go on, Rob.
Can I just say, I don't know if you ever watched My Wife and Kids growing up, Adam, right?
Yeah.
But all in my head I can think about is you going to the gym to work out with Terry Crews, and when Terry Crews
No,
is
it's
just
exactly
awake
like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, Rob, these blokes, when they're walking in going that there will be a skinny one in a minute, there'll be someone I can compete with. Not one. Absolutely not one. But I am going again tomorrow because I'm just glutton for punishment, and I want to see if I can actually, handle myself. So I'm a great believer you have to go. To be fair, on Saturday, the day after I went last Friday, obviously, I was like, I'm never going to go in again because I've never felt so much pain. But I always say to the kids at school that I work at, you got to try it. You got to go like 3 or 4 sessions before you go. Like, it's not for me. So in my head, I've got another 3, and then I can quit. So that's my aim.
So what you're saying is that next week, me and Adam will be delivering your obituary.
Well,
Yes. It's going to be black and white with doves.
yeah, so that's my own goal. Just because that is my own goal. On a positive note.
So quickly, what's the family goal?
Yeah, the winning goal was that I think I mentioned last week. Bo started potty training. I don't know, is it too early to jinx it? But the last 3 or 4 days, he's been clean. Not only just clean, so he's weeing and pooing, in the potty. Or to be fair, he prefers going on the big toilet. That he's actually not wet the bed the last 2 nights. Like he's actually holding it. So both nights he's woke up and asked to go to the toilet. And
That's good.
we're putting pull-ups on him.
Yeah,
But,
of course.
I mean, nurseries said they were shocked at how he's adapted to being in pants. And he's even asking to go to bed in pants. But
That's good.
we're not brave enough to do that. I did say to Heaven, maybe we should just do it because he's asking for it. I'm like, like that whole sort of mental... I know he's only 2, but I don't want to mess up his mental state. Do you know what I mean? Because he's asking for it.
He's on the chaise lounge saying, I want to wear pants.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, because that whole, like, if they're ready, they're ready. Do you know what I mean? And I've heard that you should just go with it. But we are still putting him in pull-ups. But like I say, the last 2 nights he's been completely clean, and he's woken up and asked to go to the toilet. And it's like, it's really quite. I'm actually shocked at how amazing that is, especially because you expect wet beds and you expect accidents, and we haven't really had it. You know what I mean? So fingers crossed that continues. And he's like proper policing it. Like he will run and go, I need to go to the toilet, or like even at night time, the whole you can see him sort of like grabbing himself, and he sort of stirs and wakes up, and he's like toilet. It's like I don't know if he's got anxiety about it, to be fair, but it might be anxiety. But I mean, it's just outstanding at the moment. So fingers crossed. That is the goal. I mean, it's been unreal. But yeah, what about you fellas?
Yeah.
And then you've been put in a headlock and had your back cracked. Well, out of you two, it's going to be Adam.
I upset Kelly on Tuesday. And
I upset your missus on Instagram.
She keeps put you in a headlock as well.
Yeah.
We've all been on the receiving end. It's all right.
No, family goals have been pretty good. Again, like Connie's at the same stage as Bo, but I feel like she's almost not regressing too much, but like she's getting too distracted. Like she's playtime, and when she's like put her hands on the table and she's doing like a little jig, and then she's playing and colouring in, and then she stops and like, it's too late. But before she was telling us, I need to go wee. So we'd go and run to the toilet and stuff for her and stuff like that. But one of the things over the past couple of weeks that she's starting to copy others now. So she's starting to copy words and phrases, and she called Kerry's mum a weirdo the other day.
She heard you talking about Kerry's mum, has she?
Your mum's a weirdo. Let's go weirdo. Stinky bum. She keeps calling people stinky bum, and I'm like, no, don't do that. She's blowing raspberries in people's faces, so she's getting a very, very cheeky and more. She's pushing the limits, I think, at the minute. So it's quite funny. Like, I can't, when you look at her and when she says things, like me and Kel just like turn over and just smile at each other, but like make sure she doesn't see that. Yeah. But one of the other things, I posted this up on Instagram, is that she started singing herself to sleep. So I'll just play this bit here and tell me what song you think she's singing.
That's Sweet Caroline.
Yeah. Singing Sweet Caroline.
You're gay.
That is class.
But I sent it to my dad, and he said, "Why is she saying so gay, so gay, so gay?"
Do you know
I was
what?
thinking the same thing.
I actually thought the same thing. It does sound like that.
I think
Unfortunately,
she's saying it's okay, it's okay, and we say no, it's so good, and now she's got the hang of it now. So, but
that's
yes,
lovely. That's a lovely recording
That is
as well.
actually class. You said that as your ringtone. Sorry.
Well, I got it on repeat at home anyway, so there's no point.
Yeah.
So that's been my sort of family goals, is just kind of seeing my 2.5-year-old
Abuse at people.
go into a terrible twos almost at the very end of just as she's about to be
About to be a free-nager.
Free-nager. There you go.
There you go.
Oh,
I like
God.
that. I like that.
You're welcome.
Free-nager.
You can borrow it.
I can't really think of anything else in terms of family goal wise. It was Buddy's birthday. Of the week.
That dog,
7.
that dog hates me.
That dog hates everyone, mate.
Hey, he likes you.
No, he doesn't. He barks all the
Every
time.
time he sees me.
Well, he ain't gonna meow, is it?
Every time he sees me, he gives that deep thing. I'm like, oh, bloody Buddy. Hello, Buddy.
Yeah,
You
he's a
miserable
walrus, isn't he?
bastard.
He looks miserable. He is miserable.
You've got those Snoopy eyes. That is
Yeah.
cutting. It's like he's pulled an all-nighter at the uni.
I really want to say hello to him, right, and give him a stroke, but I'm so scared that he'll attack me.
Oh, mate,
No, do you remember when you'd done the recording for Transfer Deadline Day? And he was on the sofa the entire time and he didn't move.
He was good as gold.
Yeah,
Even your brother-in-law come in and he didn't even clock him.
No.
When some security dog
It was past his bedtime. He was trying to get the curtains drawn.
But yeah, it was his birthday. He's 7. So, but I was adamant it was Monday, and then Kerry said to me, "His birthday's Tuesday." So he had.
So you compromised, and his birthday was on Tuesday.
He accepted he was wrong.
So we had 2 lots of doggy-friendly birthday cake. So that I made. My dad said, "You made your dog a cake." I went, "Well, yeah." He went, "You're fucking weird."
That's where you got it from. You weirdo.
And that's pretty much it, really, from my end this week.
I would like to normalise normal this week. So nothing particularly out there happened. I got to enjoy a birthday party with Callum at the weekend.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And Alea was there.
Whose birthday?
Amber's birthday.
Oh.
That's right. Yeah, Amber's birthday.
Just to get Rob out of a hole. It was Amber's birthday.
Yeah, no, I definitely forgot Amber's name. I was going to say Paige, if I'm being honest.
Paige?
I was going to say Paige.
They don't listen, so they won't worry.
Yeah. So, but you know,
You're not the ones that contributed to GoFundMe.
And,
anyone that would like to support our GoFundMe page, our links are on all social media platforms.
But Callum turned up over coffee, so that was quite nice. But I mean, so that was cool. It was nice to be able to do that. And because, like I said, I work a lot of weekends, and so it was nice to be able to go to a birthday party with Alea. And actually, one of the things that Kelly and I have been talking about a lot is just how impressed we are with Alea's vocab. And I can't give you an example because I can't spring a conversation that I've had with her to mind right now. But it's just some of the things she says, and I'm just like, damn, not just like words where you'd be like, okay, yeah, this is quite a cool conversation, but like polysyllabic words. So like words where she's like,
was she saying that?
What's going on?
No, so
she's saying polysyllabic.
No,
I can't fucking say it.
So hang on, no, I didn't say she's saying polysyllabic. She's saying polysyllabic words. So words with many syllables in them, right? And so I'm like, damn, like that's not just like saying, I don't know, butter with like two sounds, right? She's saying words where there's more to the words now.
Like butter knife.
Saying euphoric. But just like words where you're like, she's 4 and she's saying, and I'm probably being a little bit, I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but when you're here, I can just see how her speech is improving every week, every day. And it just impresses me how much she is she is progressing, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
And then with Danny wasn't at school today.
He was not suspended. No, I'm joking.
Danny wasn't at school today. He's not at school tomorrow either. So we're gonna take the kids on. We're gonna take the kids on like a family trip tomorrow, which I'm really looking forward to. We're gonna go to Norfolk, and we're gonna go to the Polar Express experience, which I'm super excited about because Callum will back me on this. It's a family favourite anyway. It's my dad's favourite Christmas film. And Dad, I love you, but you are a bit of a Grinch. So the whole the Dad loving the Polar Express is a whole thing in our household anyway, because of all the films to choose, he chooses the Polar Express as like his favourite Christmas film, which is just so...
He does also like Die Hard. No,
which is the best Christmas film of all time, alongside The Muppets Christmas Carol. But that's a debate for another day. But we're, so the Polar Express is quite big in our house anyway. And so I'm very excited to be doing that tomorrow. But I did get to have some just me and Danny time today, actually. And I never get that.
Yeah, you share the podcast.
Pardon?
Today?
We did share the podcast earlier on with Tabs, and we'll talk about the Grove podcast later. But it was nice. Me and Danny went out for a breakfast this morning. It was just me and him. And I can't remember the last time where it was just me and him, So it was lovely, and I really enjoyed that. We had breakfast, we talked some nonsense, we had a little walk around town, and it was really cool. So I really enjoyed that. And I think that's my favourite thing of the week, was just having breakfast with Danny and in the book cafe in Halstead. So yeah.
Fair play.
It was good.
Do you want to touch on the little cameos today? This
Yeah, so I actually think it was more because the pull of having you on the podcast was quite an exciting thing. No. Well,
Stop it.
It's well documented. We've been very lucky to make some very some good friendships with people from other podcasts, which has all just happened through social networking.
I thought they were looking for a Millwall supporter today.
And we got to
They didn't fancy talking about relegation, so they got me on.
Well, you are in relegation, yeah? Oh, no, not yet.
No. They're doing all right. We got to go on to the Grove podcast with Tabs, and we got to talk a little bit about West Ham and Arsenal and a precursor to the weekend that's coming. And we'll talk about that later. But we want to grow as podcasters, and networking with people is always a fantastic thing to be able to do. And we've had some really good opportunities on our own podcast, but we haven't really done lots outside of our podcast. No, Adam, you've done a few bits.
Hold on, and me.
Yeah.
Hang on, and Callum.
Cal, to be fair, has done the biggest.
Callum has done, and Callum's done the biggest thing that we could possibly have done as a podcast group right now. And I've
got no feedback though.
You got no feedback, but and we really enjoyed getting to talk to Tab today on the Grove podcast, and I think we're going to share that on our own on our own Spotify account and whatever as well. But it's well worth a listen because Tabs is a fantastic talker. He's very intricate with his details. But also
as well, and he's very good.
So deep and actually, I love talking about the football and whatever, and we all love talking about the football. But you can see how he delves into the tactics and the way that Arsenal does things, and it's a fantastic listen. But also,
I mean him just sending 5 PDF pages of notes is just it's a shame, really. And I've got a notepad and a red pen.
And you in return sent him a picture of Declan Rice holding a vase, which was lovely as well. But and the banter and the vibes were good, and it was good fun. So it's well worth a listen, and we would encourage you to listen to that podcast, but anything that the Grove puts out, because it's a great.
But listen to us first.
Yeah, Tabs won't mind.
Well, seeing as though we was talking about us cameoing on that, then we can go straight into the Dad's Our Job derby, which is this weekend. It is West Ham versus Arsenal, which is a 5:30 kickoff live at the 62,500 London Stadium.
And the Three Pigeons doesn't know what's going to hit it at 5 o'clock on Saturday night.
Are you talking about the pigeons that were on the pitch for the Chelsea game or the pub?
I'm talking about the Three Pigeons pub.
Yeah, so myself and Rob will be in attendance to our local boozer, the Three Pigeons, in Housestead.
It's great boozer. Best boozer in Housestead.
It's a modest boozer that sell Ploughman's in the packet.
Best Ploughman's in a packet I've ever tasted, by the way.
Basically cheese and Taborelli. Taborelli and crackers and a little bit of Branston's.
It was good.
Yeah. So we'll be there doing a sort of live reaction and recording 15-minute intervals, and Callum's away, so he's
I'm actually being a dad. Just
so Callum's away, so the ultimate dad of the Dad's Our Job podcast will be in attendance, which will be Bob Horton. So we'll see you there, sir.
I do think you should get him on. He needs to be on.
Dad loves it.
Is he going to the pub?
He's coming on Saturday.
Oh, so I'm going 2-1. Hold on. So this podcast, I'm 2-1 already. Today, I was 2-1 down, and I'm at the pub and I'm going to be 2-1 down.
Do you know what, though?
Oh, is that your...
Do you know what? Yeah, my dad's great company. Don't be like that.
No, I'm not.
What'd you say about my dad?
No, I'm saying you're going. You don't mean your dad are going to go.
No, Dad's coming. He's really looking forward to it. And
I'm outnumbered big time here. Every time.
To be fair, though, the Pigeons is a bit of a low-key Arsenal pub as well, because when we've been there in the past,
that bloke was there on Tuesday.
Was he there? Yeah, there's always a guy who goes with his girlfriend as well.
Yeah,
and
they were all there.
It is a bit of an Arsenal pub, but the Pigeons is a good vibe. It's going to be good fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. Actually,
I'm actually jealous.
I would be jealous if I was you as well, because
are you watching the game, Cal?
Yeah, I'll be watching it. Yeah.
Why don't you record your little reactions every 15 minutes and we can snip it together?
It's going to be just Callum crying, going, "I wish I was there."
It's not going to be the same. Me sitting in the.
But it's going to be good fun. And actually, I think it's set up to be a good game because Arsenal have been really good away from home this season, barring Newcastle. And by that, and to quantify that, we were good against Villa, we were good against Spurs, we were unlucky against City, we lost against Newcastle, and we should have beat Chelsea. So we played some really good teams away from home this season. West Ham have not been good at home. Granted, they beat Man United in El Sacchio. We talked about that last week, and they beat Ipswich, right? But other than that, West Ham have not been good at home. So I think I'm going to predict an Arsenal win, but I also predict an Arsenal win with confidence because although West Ham's fortunes are looking better, and I'm not
because they're not always hiding.
Because then, and also,
yeah, but I've looked everywhere.
And but I'm not a downer on Lopetegui either. I think
we won't be this weekend, will we?
Well, no, but and actually, I was trying to find the way to get the opportunity to say this on the podcast earlier. We were only talking about this 12 weeks ago. Then that we thought West Ham had won the window.
Mm.
And actually, we might be seeing that now, 3 months later. And sometimes
you've won the race to the second.
You avoided the sacking.
Yeah,
West Ham, Man United won that, but it could be. It could be.
Didn't even get second because Steve Cooper left this week.
Yeah, Steve Cooper left at Leicester, didn't he? Yeah. But
I predict get silver medal.
You're going to get the bronze, but. I'm going to predict an Arsenal win, but it could potentially be closer because West Ham might be starting to hit their stride. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm hoping, and obviously I am biased, but I do see Arsenal winning. Obviously, I know you won your last game, didn't you?
Yeah, beat Newcastle.
That's right, 2-0, that's right.
Yeah.
And it was away from home.
Yeah,
and we lost there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the trouble, is that you're coming from a great win there, and my worry is that will continue, and your win or nick a draw. Well, your win, or nick a draw, and that's my fear.
We've already had the chat, so
but
we'll repeat it.
I really hope. Well, Arsenal need to win. Basically, that's it. It comes down to every game's a winning now. We've lost, and with how Liverpool are going at the moment, we need to win, and I do think Arsenal will win. And it's. I know it sounds really harsh, Adam, I don't mean to say it, but it's going to be as hard as Arsenal make it. And I think we had the potential, as you saw Tuesday night, to go on and absolutely batter you. But then we could also be our own worst enemies and not turn up and be knackered from Tuesday night and you make it hard for ourselves. I do think we will win. I really hope we can win because next Thursday is going to be difficult if we're not. But I think it will be a 3-0 win away from home.
Okay, so I predicted 3-1.
I was going to say 3-1, but I thought we'd do a clean sheet.
The reason why I predicted a 3-1 is because Bowen's in the team, and Bowen's very good against Arsenal. But I also think it could be 3-0. I've gone 3-1 because I think that West Ham tend to score against Arsenal.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And the reason why I think they will score is because of Bowen, but I also think the reason why they might not score is because we neutralise Bowen. So, for example, in my predicted 11, I predicted that Calafiori and Martinelli will start. And last time out, it was Trossard that started. Martinelli, because of his numbers, doesn't get always the flowers that he deserves. Tracking back, he is one of the best defensive left wingers in the Premier League, in my opinion. And an example I would give of that is what he did to Man City when we were down to 10 men and Trossard got sent off. He was incredible with I think it was with Calafiori, right? It was incredible what happened in that game. The defensive masterclass that Arsenal put on and to concede in like the 90th.
Man City to nick
and to celebrate
and
to celebrate that draw.
I know we spoke
about
that.
And so the reason why I think it could be a no score draw for a no score for West Ham, is because we have the Calafiori Martinelli double up. So I did predict 3-1, and I predicted a Saka and Odegaard masterclass, particularly if Timber plays, because I think Timber has been a monster.
Do you know who I think has been outstanding this year as well? Sorry, Partey. His passing has been outstanding and got us out of a lot of trouble. On Tuesday night, you watched it. His range of passing. I sat there with the old man, and I was just like, "Do you know what?" Everyone says about, we could potentially move Partey on. He just completely changes the range of the
trajectory.
Thank you, of how the play is going. Yeah. Literally from turn and a ball forward, and completely. I think he is so underrated at the moment. And this season, I think he's had an exceptional start. Tuesday night he was fantastic in my eyes.
Can I jump on you on that?
Yeah.
It's funny because actually on the Grove podcast we had a chat about where was Declan Rice's best position, and I said the reason why Rice isn't playing 6 right now is because Partey is having a massive resurgence, but also the one thing that Partey has over Rice, in my opinion, is that he plays those defining passes better than Rice does. And I'm not saying that Rice can't do it or won't get there, but
it's the forward cutting passes
he makes those passes where you're like, he makes the passes to Odegaard, who then makes the pass to Saka, and all of a sudden you're in the box.
Yeah.
And
he cuts Rice, 3 or 4 players out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he turns so well. When he gets caught, but he turns so well. And when he does it, you lose like 4 or 5 players. And I think that Rice can be guilty of going side to side. But Partey plays those passes. And some of them, sometimes you watch him and you're like, where the hell? I remember when he played right back, and I think he was playing. Did he play right back against Liverpool? And I can remember he played the pass to Saka, who then played the ball out to Martinelli. And I was like, how the hell did he even make that pass? Unfortunately, Martinelli lost the ball and then Salah scored. But the actual build-up play to that moment, the build-up play to that moment was because Partey was playing right back and set up Saka to set up Martinelli, and it was like, how the hell did that even happen? So I'm with you. Partey for me is having one of those seasons. It's so far having that season where he's keeping Rice out of where Rice wants to, or where Rice should be playing, because he is doing an incredible job of, and I think that's why Arteta loves him, because of those line cutting passes. And I think that's what could be the undoing for West Ham. I think Arsenal's midfield is far superior. Rice. And I've also suggested that Rice might not start because they're saving for United. But I think in the middle, Arsenal are just superior. But I don't know, what do you think?
Oh, we're going to win 5-0.
Yeah. What, in yellow cards, Paquetá?
Yeah, so no, I think that everyone has heard the frustrations throughout the season so far, and everyone knows that I'm not a big Lopetegui fan, but you have to give him the support when he's been appointed. And that, as much as I wanted a change of head coaching, you got to give him credit where credit's due. I mean, him at Newcastle actually reverting tactics to 4-1-4-1.
That is the best I've seen you play.
Yeah. Outstanding.
Yeah.
I can't complain. And that's the thing. If they continue to play like that on a consistent basis, home and away, then
you'll win the league.
Yeah, that's it. We'll get top 4.
Yeah.
But like I say, jokes aside, but we are just 6 points off the top 4 anyway. I think it might be 7 points, but we're not that far off. And as you know, when you look at the results that we've had throughout the season, I mean, upon reflection, guest and friend of the show, Nigel Khan, has pointed out in terms of the statistics, it is an improvement to David Moyes from last season. When you look at results that we've had at Fulham away last year, we lost 5-0. This year we drew 1-1. Last year at Brentford we lost 3-2 and we drew again. And the games that we did lose this year, we had a tough run in. We had Aston Villa, Man City and Chelsea as the first 3 home games of the season for West Ham. They're not any... No,
they're all top 4 teams.
They're all top 4 teams, yeah. And,
yes, 5 teams.
Yeah. They're at the top end of the table, which makes it tough. And I'd say, and I think the only glaring loss that we probably didn't expect was the Nottingham Forest away defeat, where we lost 3-0 and completely folded upon ourselves. Alvarez,
Capitulated.
Yeah, pretty much. Alvarez again lacking discipline. We and obviously we lost to Spurs as well. But we don't mention that.
No.
But yeah, I think other than the Nottingham Forest defeat, I think you could kind of expect the results that we've come and the results that we have got. Beating Crystal Palace 2-0 when we lost to them 5-2 last year or something stupid. Beating Ipswich 4-1. Again, you expect to beat Ipswich. No disrespect to them. They've been playing well. They beat Spurs.
Who then beat City.
And then Newcastle beat them and we beat Newcastle. So it falls on.
I think it's a wonderful league this season. It really is a wonderful league this season because even like you said, people should be beating Ipswich. Ipswich aren't a bad team.
No, absolutely. And I'm not saying that to discredit.
No.
They've been promoted. We've been in Europe 3 times in the row, and we should be beating them with the types of players that we got. But I think absolutely. In terms of how we played Monday, if we continue to play like that, then I can see the sacking rumours going away. I can see all these names that we've been linked with going away, and the fans will get behind Lopetegui. I think that a lot of the problem that we've had this season is we've not really found our feet, not really found our identity, and not really had a full or a fit squad or a suspension-free squad to work with. But also we've had different lineups. We've had a different defence. Most games have had a different midfield, and we've had different attacking options. And Somerville has been on the bench for the first 8 games, and it was quite clear that he's the most explosive winger that we need in our side in terms of helping the counter-attacks. Our midfield has been a mishmash. It was either Alvarez on his own, or Alvarez and Rodriguez, or Alvarez and Souček, or Souček and Rodriguez, and then Soler was thrown in the mix. And then you had Andy Irvine who come in, and he reminds me of a typical Premiership 2000s type player, the way he comes in and
NMA manager.
Yeah, NMA manager sort of player. And then you go to our defence. We play Emerson left wing or left back, and then Aaron Hufal started right back, and then Aaron Wan-Bissaka come in, and then
who started right back?
Vladimir Kufal.
Oh,
Kufal.
Sorry, I did not put dots there. Sorry.
Yeah, so then Kufal was dropped, and then Wan-Bissaka come in, and then if Emerson's having a bad game, Wan-Bissaka goes left back, and Kufal comes in. So it's so many different
variations.
Yeah, and again, it's like you don't really know where we stand with it. And we were playing David Moyes' formation, the 4-2-3-1. Lopetegui doesn't play 4-2-3-1, but why is he playing 4-2-3-1? So it's always the thing. So when we changed to 4-1-4-1, you thought, I've seen that before. I've seen that when he's done that at Seville. I've seen him when he does that for Spain. And I thought, this is interesting. And Soler and Paquetá as the 2 number 10s, sitting behind Antonio, it just worked. And Souček doing the holding midfielder role, not a CDM, but just slightly deeper centre midfielder, doing all the running. And what that done was that allowed Soler and Paquetá to drop back and collect the ball and be more creative and more expressive with the ability that they've got. And they had such a good game between them. I can see that lasting, that partnership, if Paquetá remains eligible. So it's always
legible. He's reading.
Legible.
Illegible.
Eligible. Available.
Eligible.
Available.
Eligible to play.
So then obviously we've got a selection headache, I think, this weekend where Alvarez is available now, and we've played our best game without him. And it's like, well, who do you drop to put him in? And personally, I'm not a big fan of Alvarez. If someone come in with a £50 million bid, I'd sell him. I'd sell him tomorrow. But I just think he's too negative. He lacks discipline. He's had too many yellow cards, too many red cards already this season. And I just think we played better without him. But then the following game, Kudus is still suspended. But the following game, and we've got Kudus against Leicester City, and it's like, well, where does he fit in now? Because you've got Bowen playing fantastically on the right, you've got Somerville on the left, and even Paquetá as a number 10. Does he replace Antonio as a striker? That could be an option, but I can't really see him getting back in the team. So,
but also you've got to deserve it, haven't you? And
Yeah.
I am a bit of a Lopetegui fanboy. I think he's a good manager, and what he did in the short time at Wolves was entertaining football. Like, you could see that he's a talented manager, and you've already said about jury's out and whatever, and he might not be what West Ham want. But you can't discredit him as a manager, because he's clearly got something that works.
again, if he plays the way he was a Spain manager, I'd have no problems, because he is offered on Monday night. He offered something different and exciting that West Ham fans have been craving for since Moyes left. We wanted someone to come in and shake it up, and we've had to wait 12 or 13 games for that to happen. But if it continues, it's going to work well. But I'm conscious of the fact it could just be a one-off.
Do you think? And the reason the one-off is quite a nice segue, actually, because if he tries to play like that against Arsenal and the way they play, could that cost West Ham?
Again, it's
I'm not trying to. Maybe I'm playing
saying.
devil's advocate, but like the way Arsenal play, if you come onto them, Arsenal have the capacity to really punish you. You know, Sporting didn't change the way they played, and they came at Arsenal, and Arsenal were away from home, and they made them. And this is a good team that hasn't lost in 30 games at home, and they made a good team look very amateur.
But they were, I think they were a new team, weren't they? Because I know
You could say they've lost their manager and all that, right?
Yeah.
But habits don't die that quickly.
Well, it depends on how good that manager is, isn't it?
No, but Amarim's a good manager.
Yeah.
You wanted him at West Ham. He's now at United. Those types of habits, when you're well drilled and you have not been beaten at home for over 30 games or whatever the actual number is, those type of habits, you still fall into place, right? You still fall into habits. You know, footballers are footballers, and they are trained to play a certain way. But old habits do still die hard, and if you're used to being in a certain place at a certain time, you're probably still going to be there. Arsenal beat them 5-1, and actually the goal that Arsenal conceded was because Saka backed off too much, and then ended up giving Calafiori too much to do. Arsenal won 5-1, and this is a team that Man City couldn't put to bed. And I'm not comparing Arsenal and Man City. I'm more thinking about if West Ham come out, Arsenal could really get at them. And now that Odegaard's back, you can really see the difference of Arsenal and Arsenal without.
I noticed it even in the last Premier League game. Was it
Nottingham Forest? Yeah. And Arsenal were basically at full power. And I sort of talked about it on the podcast with Tabs, but I love Ben White, but holy smokes, Timber is a special boy, isn't he?
Yeah,
he really is. And when you look at him,
well.
you look at him with Saka, and you look at him with Odegaard, and Thomas Partey with those beautiful, beautiful passes. I do think Arsenal will win, and I think the scoreline might flatter Arsenal. I did predict 3-1, but I do think West Ham will be worth more for their money than what 3-1 might suggest, because I think it's a London derby and West Ham will come out for a London derby.
Yeah.
Well, with our predictions that we've had so far, it'd probably be a 0-0 draw. But
I predicted
3-1 win, and I do think that Arsenal.
And you predicted 3-0.
3-0, and I think Arsenal will. But
we need to win. We have to win.
But I
think everyone needs to win, don't they?
But if you look at Arsenal's
it's
fixtures,
that point of the season, they're coming into the festive period now. 10 games in a row.
Yeah, but we've played. So this is who our away games so far have been: Villa, Spurs, City, Newcastle, and Chelsea. Right, and then you can.
That's a tough away. That's a tough away leg, isn't it?
And we've got all of them done. Right, and we've played Liverpool at home. Right, and if I've missed anyone else, then someone I'm sure will correct me. But this is December. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fixtures in December, and there's one in November, which is West Ham. Right, West Ham, United, Fulham, Everton, Palace, Ipswich. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of 18, we should be getting 18 points. And I'm not saying that because and
that's the level of expectation.
I like West Ham because I grew up in Upton Park. but we should be beating West Ham, putting them to the sword, and hopefully making a statement.
It's the same logic as me saying we should be beating Ipswich.
Absolutely.
I'm not offended by that.
Yes, but we should be getting 18 from 18 in December. And if we do, then we're probably closer to Liverpool, because I'm not sure Liverpool go 18 for 18 in December. And if they do, then it's going to be a fantastic January run-in, right? But I do think that we should be getting 18 points. And I don't think it's unreasonable to expect that either, because actually that fixture run-in, if I remember rightly, there's a few clean sheets in there as well from last season.
Well, yeah, one against West Ham when you beat us 6-0.
So I know that Fulham did us dirty in December as well as West Ham, so we've got those two in there in December and November again, which is kind of ironic. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for the narrative of the December fixture list.
Fulham looked rocky, didn't they? Especially after losing 4-1 to Wolves at the weekend.
That's right, yeah. And it's nice to see Wolves looking good again.
I think Wolves look fantastic.
Yeah,
they look
and
really
they've got
good.
a great run of fixtures. So if you're on your dream teams, get out Norian, and I put in Cunha.
Here he is, the FPL King's back.
Listen, I've had a fantastic week, but Cunha has been is worth a shout if you're looking at your FPL team.
I done a review last year. I think it was called Bottom Half Ballers. So it was just focused on teams. Cunha was there. Anthony Elanga, Jordan Ayew, Morgan Gibbs-White. These players that are sitting in the bottom half of the table, and they were outperforming those that were in the top half. And it was coming up January, and I was quite surprised. Quite a few of those players didn't get snapped up in the window really to improve a top half team, but that's another. I'll do a bottom half ballers thing.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. That coming up. So, my prediction, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
Can I ask why?
Why? Because I think that West Ham and Arsenal tend to have good matches. I don't think there's ever been a game where you spanked us.
Apart from last season.
What I was saying is, the content with West Ham is that you either beat us big time by 5 or 6, or it's a high scoring draw.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've beaten you in the league at London Stadium. I don't believe that's happened yet. No. Other than Declan Rice scoring his first goal for West Ham against Arsenal, which we discussed earlier.
In the banter era. Yeah.
In the banter era. We had that turquoise kit, didn't you? Turquoise kit with the 2 blue stripe. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a draw, because it tends to be a draw most cases with when these two teams play at West Ham's ground. So that's why I'm going with that. I mean, that season before last, it was 2-2. I think there was a season when the COVID season, we went 3-0 up, and then you brought it back to 3-0.
God, yeah, I remember that.
And
I do remember that.
What's his name? Who's the winger? Pepe. Yeah, is it Pepe?
Yeah,
Nicolas Pepe. He come in and
misremembered by a lot of Arsenal fans. Actually, he gets dug out a lot, but he contributed a lot more than a lot of other flops.
Yeah,
shall we say?
Yeah, I think the price tag kind of made it.
It's not his fault. The price tag.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I think he outperformed Rashford on quite a few occasions.
Yeah,
he still got stick. So I'm going 1-1 draw. And hopefully a Declan Rice red card. I'm not bitter.
I really don't think he'll play. I really think it'll be Partey, Mourinho, and Odegaard. I really do.
But to point out, if anyone wants to put a little punt on, this was highlighted by another friend of the show, Sean Whetstone from West Ham Football on Twitter. He said Paquetá to get booked is at 13-8 in the odds. Put some money on it. You might win, because the following week he can't play for West Ham because he's having his court hearing via video web link to Brazil. So
for match fixing.
So if you want to bank on a booking for Paquetá miss
a match fixing booking for match fixing.
Yeah. So
jury court.
But he's on 4 bookings already this year. So if he picks up a 5th, he's suspended for 1 game. So
that's got to be worth £1,000.
So thanks for Sean for highlighting that, and obviously
he does all his bookings. To be fair, he does all his bets for him.
No, that's his uncle.
Yeah, right.
Allegedly. And Lopetegui's banned. He picked up a third booking a Newcastle game. He didn't even know he was suspended until Sky Sports told him after the game, and the disappointment in his face, bless him. He's like, "What, I'm banned?" Like, yeah. It's like, yeah, you're banned. He went, "Oh, I didn't even think about that." So he's gutted. And the irony would have been if West Ham had lost that game, and we played you guys and we lost, he wouldn't have been able to manage his team on his last game if he got sacked. So that's quite ironic. So good job they won. So
and I am happy for West Ham, and I am happy for West Ham fans because, like we said before, we did grow up in Upton Park, and we've seen West Ham be relegated a couple of times, but it is nice to see West Ham do well. I do hope we beat you well this weekend, and I mean that respectfully because Arsenal need to be winning those. Arsenal need to be beating West Ham.
Yeah, we're going to be
but at the same time, it is nice to see that West Ham are hitting a bit of form. And I know, I don't want to see them win a trophy in the same way that the last thing you probably want is for Arsenal to win a trophy this season, the Premier League or the Champions League or whatever.
It's Arsenal winning a trophy with Declan Rice in the squad. That's all that bothers me.
Yeah, absolutely. And
but
you don't want that because...
I'm at peace at that, if I'm completely honest.
But at the same time, you don't want to see it.
He's really not.
In the same way that I wouldn't want to have to sit here with you next week with West Ham beating Arsenal, which is a possibility because West Ham are still a good side, in the same way that Ipswich could turn over Tottenham, who then turned over Man City. The Premier League is good because of that. But that's the thing, isn't it? The Premier League is good because of the quality of the teams, and teams like Ipswich can come over and can come up and give a good account of themselves, and that's the wonderful thing. But by the same token, then you have to acknowledge that West Ham are very capable of beating West Ham, and we have to hope that Arsenal are the team that come out on top because we are chasing a Premier League title this season, and it's realistic. So. With that being said,
I think that's the end of the.
You don't want to talk about Pep?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
no, I don't think so. I think we'll
save that for another time.
We'll save it for another time. I mean, self-harming is never something to be glorified, so I don't think it's worth the conversation this week. So thanks again, guys. Next week, hopefully, we should have an ex-Premier League or ex-professional footballer joining us next week. And to share his family goals and experiences of being a footballer and being a father in the game, and his battles off the pitch as well. So hopefully that guest comes, and it'll be myself and Callum conducting that. Your way, Rob.
Yeah, sorry guys, the viewerships will be down next week, won't they?
If they go up,
yeah, we don't say it.
That's it.
Please listen to it twice.
And that wraps it up this week, guys. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, Adam.
Good night.